while we were there, I met one of the DPs from MacGyver.
Oh, nice.
So, and he's been trying to get in touch with me, but didn't know how to go about doing it. And I had no idea, but I liked his work on this particular film. So we brought him on board for Desperation.
Wow.
So that's how we build everything together.
Yeah. Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Sparky Bell on the show today. Sparky Bell is a producer, he is an actor, and most of all, you are a stunt driver.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's totally cool. I would never be able to do that job. I can't even parallel park. It would be awful. So I love people that can drive cars and drive cars fast. Tell us how you got into stunt driving.
Well, how I got into stunt driving was I had went to live with my uncle out in Los Angeles, and I turned 18. He bought me a little MG, and he told me, "Look, you're going to have to get you a job. You're not going to let me pay for everything." So I'm like, "All right." I tried the fast food circuit, McDonald's, Burger King, things of that nature. Fast food thing just wasn't for me. So after a couple of weeks of me sitting around the house, because he worked for Lockheed, he had some connections, people that worked at Universal Studios.
Okay.
So he got me on out there as a stagehand, or what I call a gopher. All I did was went and got people coffee and donuts and things of that nature. And after about 2 months out there, I found a little warehouse section where the stunt guys were training. And I found it very interesting because they were falling out. I could see them on the top of one of the buildings falling off the scaffold. I'm like, I wonder what they're landing on. So I went around and started watching them. And I started hanging out back there. And they seen me watching them. And they would like to try this. I'm like, sure. And they took me under their wing, and I became good friends with them, and they trained me. And at that time, I was like 18, fixing to be 19 years of age.
So you've been in that long?
For a long time, yes, ma'am.
Wow. So what is training like for a stunt driver? What are some things that you go through?
Well, the stunt driving thing, of course, obviously you need to start out as a precision driver, which is a big difference.
Yeah, explain the difference.
All right, precision driver, if you're watching a film where you have a lot of stunt scenes where there's cars whipping in and out of, the stunt drivers are the people that's actually doing the maneuvers and the fast, high-speed switches and change lanes. The precision drivers, they're the ones that create what they call background traffic flow.
Right.
And they more or less, they're trained to space themselves out enough to we can go between them and around them, things of that nature. They just basically, they create the background traffic flow, and they know on point what everybody's going to be doing, so we don't have a collision or a mishap. But yeah, I highly recommend if you want to get into stunt driving, do that first.
Okay.
Kind of get the feel of the vehicle. Some people, they get into precision driving and they stay. Some people, they want to advance forward. It really doesn't matter because both jobs are very important on a set. If in the Atlanta area, if you want to get into precision driving, I highly recommend Precision Drivers Unlimited, PDU.
Okay.
You can contact Rick Perez, David Godfrey, Dave Morrow. These are people that are on the board that'd be more than happy to see what you got and work
Put
in.
you to work.
Exactly. They're a great bunch of guys. There's a lot of us that are part of that group. Even though we're stunt drivers, we still do the precision driving as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely, if you want to get into driving, do the precision driving first and kind of get the feel of it.
So what's one of your favorite scenes that you've been a part of?
Oh God, there's many. I would have to revert back to the short film Vroom that I did, which is posted on YouTube. Where I did all my stunt driving with a red Mustang, and had a great bunch of people in that. And it just basically being chased by the police, going through alleys, crashing through stuff, things of that nature.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. You're also a producer.
Yes.
And an actor.
Yes.
So you started off with obviously stunt driving,
Right.
and that led you into producing.
Right.
And what are you producing? What types of things? Are you producing independent things, or?
I do a lot of independent stuff, with the exception of, well, it'd probably still be considered independent. I do a lot of music videos for Atlantic Records.
Okay.
One of the last videos that I did for Atlantic Records was, it was for a film, or for a music video called Do It Till Your Legs Hurt by 99%.
Okay.
That's also on YouTube, and yet that was my phone that dinged.
I thought it was mine because I have mine back here, and I was like.
We'll fix that.
It's okay.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's one thing you don't do too is walk on a set with your phone on. Here, I'll tell everybody don't do it. Here I come on here and do it. But no, it's I do a lot of music videos, and the reason why I got into producing and acting was it was one of those deals. I wasn't really focusing much on the producing as much as I was the acting.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of transition from the stunts over into acting because I mean I'm 50 years old. I don't heal the way I used to. So I'm like, I need to do something a little different.
Yeah,
so,
you know, there's I know a handful of people that are in their 50s and they just literally can't handle, and not so much stunt driving, but stunts. Their body can't handle it anymore.
It makes it really tough. I mean, because I mean, even all of us know this, especially if you got grandkids and you're in their 50s.
It's my phone.
Is
it's
it
my
your
phone.
That time? You know, that floor gets further and further away every year. And people laugh at you when you say that, but when you start getting around your 50s, you see it real quick.
Yeah.
There are many times, because I've got so many pins and rods and things in me, I wake up sometimes, I can't even move.
Right.
So it makes it really tough.
And people need to know that before they choose that profession, correct?
Right. It does take a very big toll on your body.
Right.
That's another, like again, that's the reason why I wanted to go into acting. The problem I ran into with that was because I didn't, this is going to sound crazy, but because I didn't have the acting experience, no one would hire me.
Right.
So
even though you'd been on
even though
set.
I've been on set and done stunts and had a lot of good credits under my name, nobody would hire me. So after being tired of being rejected, I thought, you know what, the heck with this. So I just started doing my own stuff.
Right.
And the ironic thing about it, now that those people that rejected me, now they're calling me.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of funny the way
and
it
that's
works.
the way it works. You
Yeah.
just have to find where the need is and what you can do to get the tables to turn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. Acting, like, are you still pursuing that?
I am still pursuing that. I've actually got a film we're fixing to start shooting it. We pushed it back to March, I believe, of 2019. I was kind of worried about that because it's actually scheduled to go into theaters in 2019. It's a film called Desperation, where I play a bank robber. Okay. And we're going to be filming it in Augusta, Georgia.
I was born in Augusta, Georgia.
Were you?
Yes.
It's a beautiful city, and we've actually got the Augusta Film Commission up there. They've already got us signed in, and Brad and Steve, who are over that, they're awesome guys. They're basically helping us with the equipment, and they're going to help us with the road shutdowns, and we have Wells Fargo's actually let us use one of their banks.
Nice.
It's up there. It's on a street called Broadway. So it's going to be really cool. They got a bridge there in the city that they just remodeled that they want us to jump in the film. So
cool.
We're going to really do it. Well, I've got Cole McKay is coming from LA to direct this. Cole McKay has been in the stunt industry for years as well. He's also been an AD for many, many years. Like I said, we've got a whole group of great people that come on board to get this done.
And that leads me into talking about how important your connections are. As you go through your career, you bond with people and you build trust with people.
Right.
And within those bonds and those trust, there lies many, many, many good, a lot of gold.
Yes.
And not necessarily, I'm not talking about physical gold, but experience. And I mean, even doing a film like that and being able to work with the people that you work with because you've put so much time in somewhere, it comes back to you.
A lot of the doors were open for me on the acting came from me doing what I call freebies. More or less donating my time to do little small independent productions for, let's say, colleges or whatever the case may be. And one thing that I really dislike about hearing a lot of people trying to get in the business, they'll sit back and they'll say, well, I would never do anything unless it's SAG, or I'll never do any freebies, this, that, and the other. You can't have that attitude.
Cannot.
Because you never know who you're going to meet on set.
Right.
I just did a freebie for a little small independent film where I played a drug-addicted, abusive stepdad here for a film called Black Vault. And the film is supposed to be going to the Sundance Film Festival once they get finished with post. And while we were there, I met one of the DPs from MacGyver.
Oh, nice.
So, and he's been trying to get in touch with me, but didn't know how to go about doing it. And I had no idea, but I liked his work on this particular film. So we brought him on board for Desperation.
Wow.
So that's how we build everything together.
Yeah, you never know where you're going to end up. And the thing is, if you put your time in, then when you have something going on, people are more willing to help you out
Exactly.
too. And
you become a family.
Exactly. And you build a team, and when you have enough to get a team together, that's when you can do something. And if you haven't put anything in, you're not going to get that team to circulate that way.
No.
So thank you so much for being on the show. I have a gift for you, Reese's, for coming on and sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you can take the little glass home for sharing your experience. This show, I just love meeting people, and I love seeing people do things. And to me, it's not really about being a famous star. It's just really about doing things that you love and being happy within yourself.
Yes.
And I think that we in this industry have a lot to offer people, because we are doing things that keep us active.
Right.
So, if you have any advice to give an upcoming, anybody, just an upcoming person, just trying to do things, what advice would you give?
If you're going to get in the film industry, my advice would be to find out where you fit in, or where what area that you think you'd be the most comfortable. I've seen people start out with acting and end up behind the camera. I've seen people start behind the camera and end up in acting.
Right.
You got to find that what makes you feel comfortable. Then once you define that, just pursue your dream.
And there's so many jobs.
Exactly. There's so many jobs, and the main thing, and I've seen a lot of people, and I got to say this. Family, friends, anything like that, if anybody comes to you and they try to tell you don't do it, don't listen.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. That leads to a real quick story that I'll...
Please, yes.
There was a woman by the name of Karen Johnson that was in New York. She was homeless. And she wanted to get into acting, and she wanted to get into the comedy network, and everybody told her, no, nobody's going to hire you. You're homeless, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't listen. And she was telling, that's how she made her money. She would tell jokes and things like that on street corners in New York City. Wow. And she did this for years. And there was a producer that seen her, and he liked her look, he liked her act. So he pulled her in, said, we're going to clean you up, and I'm going to take a gamble with you and see what happens. And basically what happened was, to make a long story short, he ran through a couple of the local circuits in New York. Everybody loved her, but the problem was Karen Johnson was just not a name that was very marketable. So this guy, they sat there and they thought about it for many, many hours, and they came up with the name Whoopi Goldberg. And now, and now she's one of the most famous people in New York.
I got to see her in Washington, D.C. She did, this was a couple years ago. She had not done stand-up comedy in years and years and years. And she came out, and it was so cool because, she's been on The View, and she said, first thing she said, I'm going to tell you right now, if you think this is The View, if you think this is Sister Act, you need to leave the auditorium now. This is Whoopi Goldberg. And then she let it fall. And I was like, oh, she killed it.
Yeah. I've never met her, but I have nothing but respect for her because she pursued her dream.
Yeah.
And she went for it. So.
Yeah. Well, that in itself is a testimony. So thank you, Sparky, for being here, for gracing our audience, and for giving. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please come on, welcome Sparky, say hey to him. We want to get to know you. We want you to get to know us. We hope this segment educated and inspired you.